Oh, you're watching X play. That's amazing.
Yes, I watch X-Play all the time. It's like my nostalgia for me. I
Yeah,
watch it
yeah, yeah.
with my anxiety or anything. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I knew that it was Adam because of the hat and the shirt. Hey, everybody, I'm Asian Funk. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm joined by a really awesome guest. He is an illustrator and artist whose work can be seen in Marvel, DC, and Image comic books, magazine publications like Entertainment Weekly, and currently in Marvel Studios' What If. Sway Art, thank you so much for being here.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Is this your first video interview ever?
This is my second.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
this is my second. The first one, I was just very hesitant because I was just like, I'm not too sure. Because
Mm-hmm.
normally I'm very shy and very I'm very hard. It's always hard for me to like really speak, and able to like express myself, certain things. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what, I'm in the industry. People are gonna soon gonna see my face, and I'm gonna have to talk to people. So I might as well have to like get to really like talk to other people and other comic people and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, people assume because you're a creative person that you must
Mhm.
also be really social and outgoing.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, that's not true at all. I think most
It's
creative
really
people
true.
are very shy. Do you think that's like a common misconception of like artists is like, because like you feel comfortable putting your work out, they must think that you're also comfortable just talking a lot.
Oh yeah. I just, for example, when I was asked to do the Imagine FX cover,
Yeah.
and when there was like you have to explain like the work and the process and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, because I was just like, for me, it's very hard for me to like really explain in my work. So normally, I just once I do the work, I'm just like, boom, it is done. Um, there it is. And once people ask me like how you do this and that, I'm like, sometimes I really don't know. Sometimes I just put in the color and I'm like, oh, it looks really good. Just gonna stick it like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's just for me, it's very hard for me to like really like thoroughly explain like my process work and also how like I would think and for certain like covers and certain artwork and stuff. So yeah, I think also people will assume to think that there must be like a deeper like explanation or a deeper reason of why you put so and so or why you put that color or that pose and stuff. But it's just really just sometimes I'm just like, well, it just looked good. That's why I just put it there. So yeah.
Can you describe like what your typical day is like? You don't have to
Um,
tell me what you eat for breakfast, but like
for me it varies. I'll just take breaks to just normally I have like Twitch in the background while I'm
yes,
watching
yes.
and
Love
just
it. I love the
yeah,
X play like
yeah.
classics replay or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I yep. That's it's that the X play is like something that really like helps me like if whenever I'm like trying to like get in through deadlines or something, X-Play is like in my background just to
Mm.
be able to like, have something. And then while I just, while I'm in the computer and, listening to music and stuff. So, but yeah, but normally I'll have, X-Play or like, what's another thing that I do like watch or listen to? I watch a lot of Silent Hill
You mean like cutscenes or like the
walkthroughs or also
oh,
music.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
gameplay
also
walkthroughs. Yeah, okay.
Yes. So
That's
that
funny.
also
Mm.
yes, that's also something that also like helps cope in like in terms of like me like working and able to like you know um be focused. I know it's weird because Silent Hill is like horror and it's just like the music and everything, but really it actually really calms me down. So yeah.
Oh, so you watch the Silent Hill with the sound. Oh,
Yes.
okay, so it's not just the video, it's not just footage. Okay,
Yeah, it's
interesting.
not. Sometimes it
Interesting.
could be the footage, but mostly I do,
Mm-hmm.
listen to the soundtracks and stuff. So,
Interesting. So then what do you do? What do you do when like you're in like a creative rut or when you have like creative block or something? What do you do to like get back into like the groove?
um, it's funny because I don't get a lot of creative blocks.
Wow,
When I
lucky.
and and it's mostly because um it's the music that I listen to, and it's also the things that I mostly watch or the video games I will play. So, it's really sometimes I'm always like, you know, a lot of things that I watch and listen to is always inspiring me and always like giving me more ideas for me to be able to like, work on stuff,
Hmm.
especially when I do my covers and everything. Like, um, if I see something like new and trendy, I'm always like, you know, will save it and be able to like, I want to use that for like for my next, cover or my next project and stuff. Or, if I'm watching something, I'm like very inspired by a character, I would like to try to like push that into what I'm doing with, my pieces and stuff. So yeah.
Have you been watching What If? Have you
I've watched one episode.
only
Um,
one? Huh.
yes, but the one episode was the one that I done was the one
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Chadwick.
Okay. Good. Good. All right. All right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted the whole what's it called episodes to be aired so I can like watch all of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Just binge it. Yep.
binges, yeah. But yeah, the only episode I watched was the one that I did because I was just like, oh my god, did they really put like the background scenes that I did? And once I saw it, I was like, oh my god, they really did.
That's
So yeah.
amazing. You were just talking about how you did some work for What If. And
Yes.
I really liked what you said in your Instagram post. You
Hmm.
said that it was you did the crowds for this episode of T'Challa Star Lord.
Hmm.
And you said that it was the hardest thing you ever had to do, and that you added your own sway touch.
Hmm.
Can you talk about how you even got involved with this
Um,
episode and like how?
so
Yeah, go ahead.
So to be honest with you, um, someone passed my name around the studios, and that's how I got like the what to call it the job to be able to do stuff for Marvel Studios. I didn't had no what to call it interview. I didn't really have like I didn't give no portfolio. Someone passed my name and they saw my work and they were very interested and they wanted me to be a part of the project. So
Wow.
that's basically really it. And I was so shocked about it too because I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was
Like, are you sure
like,
it's me?
like, how did you find me? And so it was just very like, I couldn't believe it. And of course I took it, and and being in there was really one of the hardest jobs I've really taken, because it was something that even though I've done before, it was a lot in terms of how much process and layers that needed to be able to be well finished and well put together to be on the show. So
So are the crowd? So you did the crowds, the background
mm,
characters, right?
yeah,
Are those crowds 2D, or are they
2D,
3D?
they're
Oh, they're
2D.
2D. Oh,
Yes,
interesting.
2D.
Okay.
Yep. um I had to do the if hopefully I can be able to one day be able to like share like the work that I did, but it was like a whole crowd. It was basically a horizontal, and I had to do like there was one group of crowd that had to do that you have that hasn't been shown because they cut off certain parts, and there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
another group, and there was another group that had to do, and I had to do like ones that are from the foreground, the background, um, and they had to be all different. They had to be at the same um what to call it line quality, the same style, the same color and rendering. So it was really a lot. Um,
Oh, you
in
had to
terms of
match. You had to match
yeah, I had
the
to match.
existing style. I see.
Yes. So it really was like a lot because in terms of the fact that for my style, it's just very loose with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
line work and everything. So when I had to do this specific style, it was quite really hard for me to like really like push a style that I have not done before and like had to
Mm.
what's the word, get used to it, or be able to I forgot the word, but yeah,
Yeah,
basically I had
yeah.
to really like blend in with the line quality and the style for the show. So yeah, it was a lot, but I was happy that it came through and stuff. And that's not the only thing that I've worked on. I also did some character designs for their season 2.
Oh my
um
gosh.
Mhm. I did a few character designs, and then also I did some other work that I can't tell you.
Yes, yes.
um, but I will say that they're definitely gonna be in the universe. So yeah.
Wow, that is so awesome. How long did it take you to do the crowds, and like how much time did they give you? Like, were you under like a tight deadline?
I was in the tight deadline. And I would say because I was put like right at the spot where they had to like really you get these scenes going, that I had to like really like catch up. So
Yeah.
for me, I can be sometimes really slow. So it took time for me to like really just to adapt with the style and the line work and stuff. There were times where when I showed the art director, um, I was like, "Is this good? Is this right?" He was just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, this is good and good. Keep going, but just get them as quickly as possible and stuff." So, but yeah.
How many characters did you make?
For this scene,
Yeah, for the crowds. How many random crowds people did you make? Because it looks like a lot.
it's a lot. It was a lot. um,
And it was only on screen for like 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds.
3 seconds, but it was a lot in terms of um what they had to be to give the feeling of the atmosphere to the world of what they were doing. So
Mhm.
it was I can't really recount, but it was a lot, probably like around more than I've wouldn't expect, because of the fact that there was so spread, there was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
spread out. So and also um especially with the layers that I had, how many layers I had to do for it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. They're all pretty detailed.
Yes, yeah.
Did you put yourself in there?
No, I didn't put myself in.
Oh, come on.
No.
You didn't did you
I didn't
put
put my-
Stan Lee in there?
no, I didn't put Stanley.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's very cool, very cool. And it's funny because yeah, you like you said, it was only on screen for like three seconds, but like when you freeze frame it, you're just like, wow, there's a lot of people there. Um,
There's a lot of people. Yep.
did you ooh, what was your reaction when you first watched the episode?
Um, I was really amazed. Um, to tell you this, um, even though this was the first episode that I've watched, worldwide, there was also
Mhm.
another episode that I was also able to watch with them from the studios.
Yeah.
I was really very mesmerized by the animation, the colors, and also the type of style that they were going with, because it's very line decker. It's also very like art nouveau in a way with the line quality and stuff. So I I was very overwhelmed, but also really amazed about it. So,
Hmm,
and I was
hmm.
just very happy that I was, my sort of touch in, one of the episodes was there. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I don't even like what did they show you so that you would know the type of style? Like what kind of
They
direction did
gave
they
me
give
a
you?
they basically gave me a presentation. Um so the presentation was basically a whole PDF of the how the colors are supposed to be, how the shadow, the lighting, the line quality, the hands, even the eyes, and just basically like
Like a style guide, right?
yeah, style guide, and basically just showing how each character and how each you know person is supposed to look. So yeah.
Hmm. Wow, that's really fascinating.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was just really curious to find out, like, just how complicated or how difficult it was. But
Mhm.
it sounded like, it was a lot of fun and it looks great. So
Thank you.
yeah, amazing. Sorry, I live on a busy street, so you might hear like scooters driving
Oh
by.
no,
I live in
yeah.
Oakland,
Oh,
so
you okay? Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's gonna
live in
be
New York, so you're gonna
yeah,
hear
yeah.
the streets and everything and stuff.
That's right.
So
Okay, so you understand. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's go to the next one here. So this it's one of my favorite pictures that you post on your Instagram. So this is a picture of you holding like your first. Is this your first published Marvel
yes,
comic book?
this is my first Marvel comic published. Yes.
That is amazing. So I want to know, one, did they just tell you, like, did they say, okay, you can pick any character, any title, or did they say we need a Black Widow cover? Like, yeah, can you talk about
So
that?
just to like really tell you like how I got into the industry.
Yes.
So so from last year, so basically I graduated last year. I graduated SVA, School of Visual Arts,
Hmm.
and after graduating, and especially since during COVID, I didn't know what the hell I was gonna be doing. I was just very like, okay, after I graduated, I was just like, I don't know what's next for me.
Yeah.
And then so what got my acknowledgement was basically the whole situation with the Black Lives Matter movement. And
Mm.
that's where, you know, they were given an open offer to like, on Twitter, especially where for black artists to like show their work and stuff and be able to have an opportunity. So once I showed my work, that's where I exploded and stuff, and that's
Mm.
where a lot of people were very interested and were into my work. And I told them I wanted to be a cover artist. I graduated, and from there on, um I was getting like a lot of interest to where the point where Brick Reminder was the first person who asked me to do a cover for him for his scumbag issue. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then from there went to Marvel, and then one of Marvel's talent agencies found me, and they were really interested in my work and stuff that I've shown. And the guy, he told me to email him. And once I emailed him and stuff, and I told him that one of my favorite characters was Black Widow,
Huh.
he made me do Black Widow. So, and that was my first character that I was asked to do and stuff. So
Did you feel a lot of pressure because, like, one, this is like your favorite character, and like, were you trying to do something different with her that, you haven't seen, or were you given any direction? Like what? Oh,
um it's because of the direction that they were going for was a Halloween special.
uh-huh.
um, I was just like, oh, okay. I wasn't. I didn't had a lot of pressure with it. I guess because Black Widow is a type of character I love and always like admire. That I was just very like, she's a character I would have done even like before, if like if I ever did publish work and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to me, it wasn't that much of a it there was not a lot of pressure. I kind of like knew what I wanted to do with it, especially when they asked, they wanted me to do a mashup of the Tomb of Dracula,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
covers and stuff. So I knew exactly how I kind of wanted her to look like. So to me, it wasn't it felt like a breeze,
Huh.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's cool. It's very cool. I've never seen a Black Widow cover like that before.
think,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
and so like, was this photo taken before or after the subways got all flooded?
I think that was after, because me and my mom went to Midtown Comics and bought a couple
Yeah.
copies. And so we were just like, oh well, might as well take pictures and the
Yeah,
subway.
yeah. Was it cool seeing your comic book on the shelf? Like,
Absolutely, yes. And anytime my stuff gets released, and and I see in the shelves, I always just be like, oh my gosh, like my work is like literally in a comic book shelf, and people are looking at it, and people are buying it, and it's
yeah.
just so, shocking for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's like a huge deal, you know? Yeah, it's like basically being like a celebrity.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, really, really awesome cover. And so just talking about like how I found how I discovered your work.
Hmm.
I actually saw it on a comic book shelf, and the first cover I ever saw of yours was this the Thanos one.
Oh really?
That
Wow.
was the one that I saw and was like, that's an like a style I haven't seen before. And then later on, I saw the Black Cat. I saw the
Hmm.
Loki, and I
Hmm.
didn't realize until I was preparing to speak with you that you had done all of those covers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, so I have seen your work before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool to be like, I've already seen your work. I just didn't know it was you. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, just like really cool to like just kind of put them together. And like I've seen like most of these, and I didn't even know. So,
Yeah.
um, is there anything about the covers that you see here that kind of stand out to you that you remember
Um.
being really difficult, really easy? Um,
So I would say the one that stands out to me is the Black Cat. I love doing that Black Cat cover. It's funny because um I've always thought about doing the Black Cat cover, and I always had like a picture of like what I wanted like her to look like, and the way I wanted to draw her. And so thankfully, I've asked my editor, can I do a Black Cat cover, and it was just like, sure, absolutely. So I was like yes. So from there, I knew what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to give a very editorial, like fashion kind of feel to it.
yeah, yeah.
So that one, I had so much fun with it. To me honest, that one showcased the sort of like um the more fashionable side that I have
Hmm.
with doing like females and stuff. Um, what else? The Star Wars cover, that was quite difficult. And the big reason was because of color.
Mm.
Um, because in a lot of ways, they didn't give me much of a reference in terms of how the insects were gonna be. So
Oh,
it took some time. Like they did give me like a little bit of like what the concept art and look of it, but I quite had a hard time figuring out like, how I really wanted them to look like, and how I really wanted them to rendered.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so for that, it kind of the way I wanted it to be colored and stuff, it sort of shifted in a lot of ways. So to be, even though it's a really good cover, I feel like I wish I could have done something different in terms of the insects
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
the color scheme and stuff. But other than that, I did really enjoy doing that one also. um the Loki, it's funny because I'm gonna tell you this. I am not much of a Loki fan.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But when they gave me to do a variant for that one, I was just like, okay. And I kind of knew what I wanted to do with it because the whole story with it was him getting the hammer.
Okay.
So I really basically, just the one idea that I had with him was just basically him holding the hammer and just being all powerful and stuff. So I really wanted for that cover to like really showcase like the hammer like coming at you, and
Yeah.
his hair kind of like flowing, even though it looks very Dragon Ball Z in a
That's
way.
probably why I like it.
So I was just like, I didn't really wanted that to happen, but I was just like, you know what, I kind of like it.
Go
So
for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just turn it
yeah.
up.
Mhm. And then yeah, the thing I really enjoyed the Thanos cover because um he was like a character, you know, I don't normally would want to draw, but
Yeah.
he's someone who's very like very interested and very I guess very big and very just, you know, there's a sense of what's the word? He's just very intimidating because he's
Hmm.
just very like big and he's just very powerful. So I guess I really wanted to like showcase that in the Thanos piece, and also I wanted to try out doing like sort of like like a space kind of background and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but and it was really fun doing his original costume. I just wanted to like make it a little bit modern and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's also what stood out was because like, most people are used to seeing the MCU
Yes.
version where it's just like dark, everything, the suits are dark and really like metallic looking, but
Yeah.
I think it's like it's weird to see him with like the modern face, but
Mhm.
wearing the
Right.
classic outfit that's bright. So that's why it really stood out. So yeah.
Yeah. I for a lot of ways when I do a lot of like the characters' costumes and stuff, I always think of it as like a modern. I always wanted to give like a modern take to it, or like a sort of like a visualization of like how they will look like if they were like in the real world right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, like real clothes, right?
Right. So in a lot of ways, I try not to always think of like the old classical, because they always the old very classic kind of costumes always just I never always had like a interest in them,
Hmm.
or I would say like it's just they feel kind of like tacky in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So to me, I'm just like, okay, how would I like put this in a 2020 version, or like or a modern take to it. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could see how, like the old versions were very baggy, very they felt just kind of like, sheets of clothing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like the more modern take.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, very cool. So you were talking about how like it's difficult sometimes to explain your process, but I
Mhm.
really liked how you showed how you use like this like previs
Mhm.
modeling to like conceptualize your covers or your next piece.
Mhm.
Um, can you talk about this a little bit?
I do for, for um for these the models that I have, what I use is Magic Poser.
Oh,
Um
okay.
and Magic Poser is something that really helps to be able to like just to figure out the sort of composition and
Mm,
the sort of like poses that I kind of want to do for the final piece. So in a lot of ways, this it's just basically my reference sort of model sheet,
yeah.
and I'll have like other references to like really help me to give more I guess realness and liveness, because I normally don't, even though these are, they're helpful in terms of, giving me the sense of the pose and the lighting and stuff. I normally don't always just just draw from like trace to trace
Yeah.
of it. So I always like try to like find other more references to bring more life into it. So basically the magic poser that I use is just basically to help me really visualize and help with how I want like a certain piece to look like and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've seen a lot of other artists like use this like I've seen artists use like real models like
mm-hmm.
like little figurines to demonstrate like lighting and posing, but it's interesting, like yeah, of course you would use a 3D modeling software the same way, so I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, it's basic, it's helpful, and it's also very quick.
Yeah,
Um,
yep. Yeah, because
for me,
you always don't have the space to have like all these
yeah,
models in poses. Yeah.
yeah, and so normally, and sometimes I don't like taking pictures of myself,
Hmm.
so I
Yeah,
just normally
yep.
just be like, okay, let me use this app to help me to be able to like figure out a certain pose and stuff. I do have, I do have like some figure models that will like help me, that will ask, like for example the Harley Quinn cover that I did for Imagine FX. I asked yes, I've asked a figure drawer, I mean not a figure drawer, a figure model to like really help me with the pose for
Oh,
this.
okay.
So yeah, so from there it was a lot more like easier for me to like figure out what I wanted to do and um figure out the lighting and stuff. But I also had to use also the magic poser to like really help me like, figure out the stance and the certain
Yeah,
light.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I knew once you said Harley Quinn, I'm like, oh, I know which one you're talking about. Um, yeah, very cool. I skipped over one, and
Mhm.
can you talk about this really quick and like how like just kind of how you were approached to do this and just like what you were thinking when you were asked to do it?
So how does the story go? So when it was announced that Chadwick Boseman died, um Marvel asked me to do like a tribute sketch for him. And at first I was just like, I kind of was like, oh, I don't know if I have really time for it because you know um while I was, doing I was, well, from they gave me that, I was, doing finishing up the Avengers cover,
Yeah,
and then I was also doing another cover for Dr. Alpha. So they asked me to do a sketch, and I'm just like, I kind of at first was just like, I don't know, I'm not too sure because I don't feel like I don't have the time to like really be able to like, pull it through. But then I thought about it. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And it took me 2 days to really finish it, to
hmm.
get this done. Um, I just basically, what they wanted me to do was to like, show him, not, but also don't really show the Black Panther costume and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
They wanted to just showcase. They just wanted to represent him, the actor himself, and stuff. So it the process, I just kind of the I just knew exactly what reference I wanted to do
hmm.
with him. So I was very the one that I was very inspired by was the Met Gala look that he
Yeah,
did. So I basically was like, okay, I wanted to do a portrait of him from that um appearance. So and then I also just from rather than not doing the Met Gala look, I just under it just wanted to do the sort of elements of the Black Panther fashion and stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah. Very subtle, but it's like identifiable.
right.
Yeah,
And then from up top I just put like a little crown and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. No, I thought it was nice. Again, I had seen this this tribute, and at the time I didn't know who you were, and but
Mhm.
now to see that you'd done this, I was like, that makes sense. Yeah, I really loved it. So I was curious to hear your thoughts on it. Um,
Yeah, it was funny because I did another chat once when he died. I actually did a portrait of him, and then you know when they asked me about doing a portrait for their tribute for their back covers, I actually showed them the portrait I did for his Met Gala, and they were just like, though it was a great piece, that I couldn't be able to use it because of the fact that um for licensing with the Met Gala look and stuff. So I was like, okay. So I went forward to do like a second piece, and I felt like, to be honest, I needed to do it in a way just to represent, the fact
yeah,
that an amazing, Black actor. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I thought, I'm like, I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because I really liked it, and I thought it was, really powerful and
Thank you.
really great. So yeah, we saw that. And then of course you mentioned this was your first illustration inside of a magazine. So
Yes. Hmm.
um do you have like a collection of all of your stuff somewhere? Like do you
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
My mom hangs like all my Like
Oh,
in
yes.
the and what's it called around once you open once you come in the house, there's a wall where it shows like all my like stuff framed and signed and stuff. So
That's
yeah,
so great.
yeah. She's been framing all my covers and stuff and everything.
No, that's
And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, are you gonna just frame all the covers that I'm gonna be doing? She was like, Yes, of course.
yep. She
And
should. She should
yeah,
do that.
I'm like, all right. So
That's amazing. Where can people find your work?
you can follow me on Twitter at jswayart. On Instagram, you can follow me on sway_art, and on ArtStation, it's Swayby Josh.
Well, Sway, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure getting to talk to you and having you on the channel. I learned so much, and I would like to have you back on again when season 2 of What If starts picking up, and I would like to find out what you worked on for that. So I would love to have you back.
Thank you for having me here. And so